Tonight from UTA's Maverick Stadium, it's a by-district playoff matchup as the Keller Indians, representing District 3-6A, take on the Martin Warriors out of District 4-6A. Hello again, everybody. John Nelson along with Jim Staples. And Jimmy, it is the second season when you're playing in mid-November. That's where you want to be.
Absolutely, and both of these teams obviously very excited to be here at Maverick Stadium, as we are.
Martin comes in with an overall record of 9-1. They finished second in the district to undefeated Mansfield. Keller finishing fourth in District 3-6A, the Indians overall at 5-5. They're guided by Carl Strelo, the head coach, in year number 6, and they've got the Florida State look tonight.
Coach Strelo graduated from Florida State, and it was kind of ironic that you brought that up. And in fact, their theme and their colors and their mascot is all on the Florida State theme.
Keller likes to throw the ball. Martin likes to run and throw. So we may see a little bit of everything tonight.
Well, and for Keller, it's problematic perhaps because it's very, very windy out there, but they have a big, strong quarterback. We'll talk more about him later. But I do think that this time of the year, if you can mix it up offensively, your chances of being successful in the playoffs are that much greater.
Martin comes in having defeated Lamar last Thursday night. The Keller Indians losing to Fossil Ridge 41-40 in a wild shootout their last game. Martin comes in averaging 45 points a game. The Indians come in averaging 31. Should be a good one. Bi-district playoff from Maverick Stadium. It's Keller and Martin next on AISD-TV. And welcome back to UTA's Maverick Stadium, this mid-November bi-district matchup. Martin and Keller. John Nelson with Jim Staples, our AISD-TV production crew. For Martin, it's playoff game number 31 all-time. For Keller, playoff game number 32. And these two teams have met in years past. The most recent meeting came in 2009. Martin defeated Keller at Cravens Field 42-13. Martin comes in averaging 247 yards of rushing. Keller just 116 on the ground, but they throw for over 200. And Jim will see the Indians with the football first.
Yeah, and their offense getting off to a good start is going to be really important. They've lost a good number of their offensive linemen to injuries, but they have been filled in nicely. They have a big, strong quarterback, and important that Keller in tonight's game in their opening possession establish the passing game for sure.
Martin has scored 40 or more points 7 times this year. They lost their quarterback, Juma Odaviano, 4 weeks ago. Braden Willis filled in nicely. He runs, he throws. There's the 2 return men for the Indians. But Odaviano should be at about 90% tonight. And Martin will have the benefit of the wind behind them. It's unseasonably warm this mid-November, temperature in the low 80s. As we get set to begin, Matt DeWitt back deep with Keller along with Michael Anderson. Martin in the black unis, the gray pants and the silver helmets. So they go the black and gray look tonight. Number 51 has it teed up, Juan Esquivel. We'll see if this is a short directional kick, which seems to be the thing these days in regular season play. And it is, and we are underway. This one carries to the 21-yard line, fielded by Keller. On the return, and not much, out to the 24-yard line. It's number 8 on the return, Kahari Watson. And that's where the Indians begin their first drive. They've had a lot of injuries this year. One of the best running backs, Liam Ardigo, who ran for a couple of hundred yards his first 2 games, is out for the year. They've lost some offensive linemen, some D linemen as well. So they've been injury plagued most of the year. And the quarterback is Sloan Henry. He's completed 62% of his passes this year. It's a running play, clogged up over the right side and a pickup of about 3. Not much. Number 20 on the first carry, Devon Collins, a senior, one of 42 on the Keller varsity roster.
Well, you see Henry there. He's listed at 6'3", 220, but talking with Bob Wager before the game, he goes probably 20 pounds heavier than what he is showing there. 2nd
and 7. Henry harassed, throws, and caught over the middle by Anderson. Anderson, 35, has a first down and thrown hard out of bounds at the 41. Michael Anderson, his 49th catch of the year, and the Indians with the first down of the game.
Well, and Coach Wager also said that putting pressure on Henry is what they're going to do defensively, but he is a load to bring down. Martin had a chance to throw him for a loss, and at 220 to 240, right there, breaks out of 3 or 4 potential tackles for the completion.
Damon Smith in motion. Here's a pass out to Smith in the right flat, and is gang tackled. No gain at all. Leading the surge, number 20, Keelan Chilton. Also in the area, number 15, Basil Abdul-Ahmad. They say a pickup of 1 at 2nd down 9.
Well, this is a stingy Martin defense, only gives up 19, but they have tacklers that have gotten those tackles in bunches this year across that defensive 11 starters.
Martin only gives up 98 yards of passing a game. Collins is to the right of Henry on 2nd and 9. Collins over the left side, and Collins stood up at the 43. Just a yard gain over that left side. Kelvin Spencer, one of the linebackers underneath for Martin. Also Chase Lund.
Well, early on, if Martin can stop the run, which they've done a good job of doing, means they have an opportunity to try to pressure the quarterback. And on 3rd and long, would not be surprised at all if they do some type of motion or blitz up front.
Correction, Dylan Ford, not Lund, assisting on the tackle. 3rd and 9.
Not showing blitz, though.
From the gun, Henry surveys the secondary. Deep ball left side and overshoots the receiver at the 25-yard line. Try to get it to Anderson, number 5. And we'll see the first punt of the game into the wind.
Well, Martin disguised the blitz. It was late coming, but enough pressure that Henry had to throw off his back feet, tried to go for the home run, overshot his man, and a good start defensively for Martin.
Alec Brenton in punt formation for the Indians. Motion and a running punt, almost blocked. And secured at the 33-yard line. This is Sorrell Brown. And Brown, not much, is corralled at the 35.
Yeah, just got that off as Jaden Miles, sophomore, right up the middle, almost got a piece of it.
And here's the Martin offense, averaging 45 points, 247 yards of rushing, 146 yards of passing. Number 8, Juma Otoviano, a completion rate of 62%, has thrown for 5 touchdowns.
And got to consider one of the best overall athletes, certainly in the city of Arlington. Just a great, great athlete.
He's run for over 600 yards. There's a fumble. It's a errant pass. And Otoviano is still loose at the 18-yard line. The pitch was behind the running back. I think Otoviano was able to get to it. And he did. That's a loss of about 17 yards.
Yeah, but as we take another look at it, just a very poor pass lateral, and I'm not sure that the running back was expecting it. Was not Montrell Smith not looking for it, even though it was behind him.
Smith, number 13.
Well, and very fortunate for the Warriors to come up with that.
2nd down and a mile from the 18-yard line. Smith tripped up at the 27. His first carry, Montrell Smith, comes in with 565 yards of rushing, 5 touchdowns.
He kind of tripped up right there, or he was perhaps had enough speed to get through the crease of those 2 defenders.
They need to get to the 45-yard line. It is 3rd down. And about 19 yards needed. Just underway, 8:46 in the opening quarter. Otoviano, they haven't started the play clock. Offensive line for Martin this year is big. They average 260 pounds. They lost their center a couple of weeks ago, Jacob Holland, in the Lamar game.
Well, Carl Strelo is talking with not only the referee but another official across the way. Not sure if there's a communication problem with his headset or what, but it's I think that's what it is, John, because he's taking his headset off and he's trying to regain some type of communication with the press box.
And both of them have to work. I mean, if the visiting headset is not operative, then the home headset has to be taken off as well. So some kind of a breakdown, let's just say in the headset area.
Well, and most of these now are wireless, and they're not hardwired, so I think that each
Keller defensively this year giving up 26 points a game. They give up more yards on the ground than they do up top. Martin coming off the win over Lamar last week. Keller losing to Fossil Ridge 41-40. Lamar lost that game to Martin right here, 50-34. Martin's only loss this year came against the district champion, the Mansfield Tigers, in Mansfield, 27-16, the outcome on October 13th. So Martin needing about 19 yards here on third down. "31 seniors, 20 juniors, and 19 sophomores comprise the Martin varsity roster this year. Martin went 6-5 last year, made the playoffs. 2 years ago, they were 10-3. And they made a deep run the year before that. 3rd and 19. Ottaviano, and the pass over the middle is caught at the 40, twisting free for the first down, crossing midfield. Smith dragged down at the 39. Or Brown, that is. Sorrell Brown. Brown, his 35th catch, has now gone over 600 yards as Martin converts on 3rd and 19.
Play fake there, nice job, and just double coverage. Just Brown spins out of traffic, and on 3rd and forever, the Keller Indians give up a huge play.
From the 39-yard line, 1st and 10 Martin. He will keep it. Ottaviano inside the 30, cut down at the 28, and another first down. Running behind Grant Garrick, number 66, also Cam Carden, the offensive lineman.
Well, getting a little confidence after that 3rd and long. Now hurry up offense, trying to really get things going.
From the 28, Smith, running room, right side, 20, 15. Smith dodges a defender at the 10 and slides to the 7. It's 1st and goal, Martin. Montrell Smith on a huge hole over the right side.
Well, just a slant ride on the play. Nice little seal block. Didn't catch the number, but right at the right end allowed Smith to get around the corner.
Nolan Harris opened it up for him. Here's Smith again, same play. And Smith just short of the goal line. Inside the 1.
That right side of the offensive line is just blowing the Keller Indians out at the line of scrimmage.
Braden Willis is the quarterback, number 7. 2nd and goal. Willis will keep it in half 6, untouched. For Willis, his 12th rushing touchdown, and the Warriors strike first.
Well, a rough start for Martin off the first play from scrimmage, a bad pitch. Put him in a 3rd and a very long situation that they converted, and from there on out, it was pretty easy pickings. Nice pass completion, and then just run.
Andres Morales has converted 49 extra points. This one up, and it is perfect, and the Martin Warriors grab an early 7-0 lead on a nice 65-yard drive. It's capped off by the 1-yard run of senior quarterback / tight end Braden Willis. And we're back for the Martin kickoff, leading 7-0. Number 57, or Esquivel, number 51. And caught at the 25, crossing the 30, and stacked up at the 32-yard line. That is where the Keller Indians begin their second series. Number 8, Kahari Watson on the return.
The Indians had limited success in their first drive. They tried to establish a run with not much success, had a nice third down pass play completion, but Martin's defense stiffened, and now their second opportunity for Keller.
Number 15, Sloan Henry, is thrown for over 1,400 yards. Running play right side, getting to the edge, out to the 45 and a first down. Number 3, Colton Nelson.
Boy, just an inside pitch that was strung out from one side of the field to the other, and you would think with the speed in the pursuit, nice seal block, nicely done by number 20, Devin Collins, to really make that play happen, but that one took a long time to get from sideline to sideline and picked up big yardage.
1st and 10 Indians from the 46. Henry from the shotgun, crossing pattern, and this one caught across midfield. That's Nelson again, Colton, a junior. That's a gain of about 5. It'll be second and a nickel.
Wasn't hit in stride, or he would have had more yardage, thrown a little bit behind him. He had to go to the ground just to make the completion. It's out in front of him. He has much more chance to get additional yardage.
Cade Cantrell, number 66, out over the ball. Man in motion is Michael Anderson on 2nd and 5. Henry on the option toss, coming right, 45, and about a half a yard short of the yardage needed. Number 29, Enoch Lachobo.
Well, the Indians are having success on the pitch and running wide against this Martin team, at least on this drive.
Well, they say it is a first down. Lachobo, the sophomore, collects the first down. Line of scrimmage to Martin 44. Jacob Simonton in number 86. He heads wide right. Now crosses behind the left guard. The play comes to the right. To the 41, a gain of 3. Martin trying to pull it loose. Number 45, Dylan Wheeler underneath for the Warriors.
The Indians offensively getting a little confidence that they have run the football pretty effectively on this second series.
Second down and about 7. Clock moving, 4:54 in the opening quarter. Trips to the right. Among them in the middle, Justin White, number 18. Anderson heads out to the left. Sloan empties the backfield, throws it right side, and overshoots everyone. One of the receivers had taken off far. That was White. He was well in front of the pass.
Had pressure from Dylan Wheeler, though, the defensive end, that Henry had to scramble out of trouble.
Kelvin Spencer, one of the leading tacklers for Martin. Julian Johnson also has a boatload of tackles this year. 3rd and 7 from the Martin 41. Motion in the line. Flags come. Deep ball, and that one into double coverage, but there's motion along the interior line. Martin may have jumped first.
Yeah, they were showing blitz and just could not time the cadence of Henry's snap. A couple of Martin players appear to jump off sides, and they are.
That'll make it 3rd and about 2. Keller has 42 seniors, 22 juniors, and 6 sophomores. This Indian team last year went 1-9. They were 6-4 2 years ago. They have won 2 of their last 3 games. They beat Timber Creek and Abilene in district play before the loss to district champion Fossil Ridge. 3rd and 2. Again, Martin a little antsy. Maybe a change in plays. Devon Collins now a setback from the Martin 36. Collins has it. Collins to the 28. And a first down. He's collected by Julian Johnson, number 42.
Just over right guard, not much to this one. Nice block there. Number 77, just really nicely done by Josh Daly, 6'4", 310 pounds.
From the 28, Collins stays in. Collins, a senior running back this year, has 6 touchdowns. Henry has thrown for 17, has been picked off 9 times. Over the right side, breaking a tackle and getting about another yard to the 22-yard line is Collins. Here's another look at it.
Caught the Warriors again in a blitz, and once you get past the line of scrimmage, usually going to get nice yardage. That's a good first down pickup for the Indians.
Dragged down by Dylan Ford, number 97. 2nd and 3 as we show exactly 3 minutes to go here in the liftoff quarter. 3 receivers to the left, 1 receiver wide right. On 2nd down, he's looking left. It is intercepted at the 20. Number 4, Jace Godley. He'll take it the distance, 80 yards. Jace Godley, a junior, on an 80-yard interception return.
Well, we'll take another look at that. He read that perfectly and got there just in time. It looked like from up here it was going to be a completed pass. He read, and then just jumped the route. That little slant, quick slant, is something that Keller has run a few times tonight, but one too many.
And Godley was right there. It is 13-0. Good snap, good hold, and the extra point by Morales is good, and Martin grabs a 14-0 lead. Godley and Willis have scored the early Warrior touchdowns, trying to go to 10-1 and advance another round in postseason play. Martin will use a different kicker. Vern Angton, number 50, a sophomore, will kick off, and he's moved it over to the far hash mark. And that forces Keller to take a timeout. So Martin shows a different look with Angton out there, and the Indians take their first of their allotted 3 timeouts. Keller opened the season this year by losing to Abilene Cooper. They lost to McKinney, then beat LD Bell, Midland, and Weatherford in a row. Martin beat Skyline, South Lake, and South Grand Prairie in their 3 non-district games. So the coordinators on the Keller side see what they will do here. If Martin decides to change it up, they're going to stay with Angton, and he may give it the full windup here. They've got the wind behind their back. It is deep. It carries to the 3 and over the shoulder catch to the 15 and piled up at the 17-yard line. Number 5, Michael Anderson.
Yeah, and Keller's got to be a little shocked right now. They appeared to be headed to the end zone to tie this game up, as Martin was doing very little to stop their second drive of the game, and then that pick 6 80 yards later, and all of a sudden it's 14-0, and rather poor starting position on their 3rd possession too.
The Indians have lost a couple of close games this year. They, of course, last week losing 41-40 to Fossil Ridge. Lost to Halton by 3 in early October. Handoff, straight ahead, and not much. Number 29 just disappeared. The Chobo into the center of the line.
Julian Johnson among those to first make the tackle. 54, now make it 55 tackles for the 5'7" sophomore for Martin.
For the linebackers, Darrell Ware. 2nd and 9. High snap, pulled down by the quarterback, just trying to make the best of it and able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Sloan Henry able to save it with his left hand.
And at that point, he was going to try to hand the ball off, but he just tried to make something out of really nothing here, and a very important 3rd down for the Indians.
3rd and 9. Twin receivers on either side. Henry looking, throws on the run and almost intercepted at the 26. Number 20, Keelan Chilton, almost had Martin's 2nd interception.
Yeah, for a touchdown. Because I don't know if Chilton would have been stopped heading for the end zone as well. Off the back heel, throws it kind of lazy out there into the wind too. That was held up a little bit, and that's one that Chilton was eyeing to head to 6 points himself.
Britton in punt formation for the Indians. Sorrell Brown standing near midfield. Comes up, fields it on the 2nd hop. Looking for some running room and draws a crowd at the 49. So this will be Martin's 2nd possession. 62 seconds remaining in the opening period.
Well, and this is the start that Martin wanted. They deferred to the 2nd half. They gave Keller the football first. Martin elected to take the win, and so far so good. 14 points, 1 on a drive, 1 on an interception return, but only a half a field to play with here, and trying with 1:02 to go here in the first, and the wind at their back to try to add another 6 points to the scoreboard.
Got to send Jonathan Carter wide left from the 49-yard line of Keller. Ottaviano on the sweep, and nothing at all. Number 6, Antoine Parker, and Keller right there to meet him.
Now, one of their better ball players, Grayson Williams, 64 tackles on the year, defensive end. Nice size, 6'4", 240 on the stop.
Yeah, he was a newcomer of the year in the district a season ago. Second and needing 9. Juma Ottaviano looking, and no one home. Overshoots the receiver at the 35-yard line by about 8 yards.
Yeah, that was not a well-thrown football at all, and there's not a lot there anyway, but had no chance on completing that one, well over the mark.
Trying to get it to Parker. It'll be 3rd and 9. Ottaviano last year had 1,200 yards of rushing, 27 touchdowns total. He has over 1,400 tandem yards this year. Running play and cut down at the line of scrimmage, able to spin forward for a couple of yards is Montrell Smith. And that should be the last play of the first quarter. Martin coming up to the ball, though. The play clock is not started. They've got 11 seconds on the game clock.
Well, they call a timeout.
Yeah, they did. I thought, yeah, that's our first. So Martin, they want to have a little wind advantage here, at least for the last play of the quarter. Wind gusting at about 25 miles an hour out of the south. As we said, temperature in the low 80s to begin. So Martin utilizes a timeout. We'll see what they call here on 4th and about 7.
I would be a little surprised if they don't punt, not shocked if they don't, but I think once you built a 14-point lead and now you want to get a little bit of field position advantage, you can use that win to try to pin Keller in and make them go the length of the field. So I'd be very surprised if they don't try to punt the football here.
Martin last year in the playoffs lost to Keller Timber Creek 54-51, advanced 3 rounds 2 years ago, eventually losing to Allen 36-11. Fourth and 7. Martin has Willis back in there, number 7. In punt formation is Sorrell Brown. He's standing at the Martin 42. Keller has nobody back. And now Brown shifts, and Willis from the deep shotgun on 4th down. He will punt on the run. Nobody back deep. It rides the rail at about the 10-yard line. 4 seconds left in the quarter. We'll see will they mark it out.
Well, I think that Martin was looking at several options to see exactly if they had an opportunity to go for it, but when that checked off and opportunity was not there, they decided to go ahead and punt the football, the wise thing to do.
Say went out of bounds at the 11, and that's where the Indians have it. Possession number 4. Big offensive line for Keller despite all the losses this year. So here's Henry on 1st and 10 at the 11. Running play and a handoff and not much at all. Maybe a half a yard, and that is the final play of the first quarter. Keller will face a 2nd and 9 as we come back to Maverick Stadium in this by-district matchup. Keller facing a 2nd and 9 from their own 12-yard line. First play of the second quarter. On the sweep and a loss of yardage as Matt DeWitt is eaten alive at the 6-yard line.
Well, they have had success running wide, but not that time. Dylan Ford, boy, he smelled that out. The nice defensive ends that Martin has. Tried to stretch it out, but absolutely having nothing to do with that.
It'll be 3rd and 16 at their own 6. Running back Devon Collins at the goal line. Sloan Henry right there with him. And a timeout taken. Play clock was down to 1, and the Indians have to use their 2nd timeout. Martin can really tee off here, Jim. They can send the house on 3rd and long, deep in their own territory.
Yeah, and Keller's got to be careful here, John, because in a 3rd and long situation, if they get too aggressive, we've seen how quick the quarterbacks are for Martin has been. They've had a pick 6 and had one that should have been another interception return for a touchdown. And well, I've always said that throwing with the wind, especially a wind like this, is not easy. Some people think it's an advantage. Well, it is maybe on the deep ones, but the timing routes, a chance for those passes to sail on you when you're throwing downwind. So it's not as easy as you think it might be.
All right, 3rd and 16 following the timeout. And they've got Enoch Nachobo to the left of the quarterback, Sloan Henry. Nachobo back in as a setback on 3rd and long. Henry is loose. Keller able to fall on it.
Well, they were conservative but it was just a mishandle there. Number 29, Enoch Nachoba, was going to be the ball carrier, and
44 right there.
boy, probably should have had it. Daryl Ware the third. Might have put an early dagger in this game had he come up with that.
They spot it at the 2. It's 1st and goal, Martin. Willis, the quarterback. He will run, trying to change directions. Penalty marker dropped as Willis has dropped at the 5.
Yeah, probably in the area of holding, and is. And at this point, Keller needs all the help they can get.
Daryl Ware recovering the fumble for Martin, and penalty flag will take it outside the 5. From the point of the foul, outside the 10, they place it at the 12-yard line. 1st and goal from the 12. Willis will head wide left. Ottaviano back in as a quarterback. He'll hand it off. Coming left is Henderson, and Henderson takes it to the 7.
Montrell Smith with a nice lead block. You see number 13 right there get out and just seal his man to the outside as Alec Brenton was trying to make an inside move.
Trey Henderson, a junior with 3 touchdowns this year. There's Brown. There is Avery Taylor, number 16. And Braden Willis back in at quarterback. Some shifting, some movement on 2nd and goal. Running play inside the 5. Montrell Smith.
Willis back in at quarterback, hands off to Montrell.
We're going to see this probably for most of the night. Willis and Ottaviano changing positions. 3rd and goal from the Keller 4-yard line. Smith and Willis in the backfield. Hard count. Trying to draw Keller off sides. It's a keeper and untouched up the middle. Braden Willis, his 2nd touchdown in the first half.
Well, just you got to get blocking. Look at that huge hole as cross blocks up front, double team the tackles, and just a gaping hole for the 3rd score of the night for Martin.
And the turnover leading to more points for Martin. It is 20-0.
Morales is back to kick.
Andres Morales on the PAT. Spotted, up, and no good. Morales misses as the score goes 20-0. 2 rushing touchdowns for Braden Willis, and it is all Martin here in the first half. 20-0, Martin on top. Juan Esquivel, number 51, set for the Martin kickoff. He'll take 3 steps. Into the wind. Up with a hand indicating a fair catch. Kahari Watson at the 27. A couple of turnovers that led to Martin points. An interception and a fumble.
Well, Keller's 2nd drive, they were really moving the football effectively. Martin was doing little to stop them. Then the pick 6. Momentum shifted right back to Martin, and it's something they've not relinquished. And now clearly Keller, with their backs to the wall, have got to do something offensively, and it needs to begin right now.
Junior Sloan Henry, number 15, the quarterback. Collins sheds 1 and thrown down at the 30. Pickup of about 3.
Number 20, Collins gets the carry.
Running behind number 62, Adam Scharf. Also Daniel Imelusun, senior. Imelusun on that right side. Second down and 7. Collins stays in. Looking over to the Keller coaching staff on second down. Quick out pass. It is caught, but no gain. Ridden down by Chilton. On the reception, Michael Anderson.
Yeah, and Anderson had to reach behind to get this ball too, not out in front of him. And that just, well, it had no chance, even if it was a perfectly thrown football, because you had 3 black jerseys all over him.
No gain, third and 7. 3 receivers wide left. A final check to the sidelines. Play clock down to 8. Down to 3. Henry fires and knocked down on that left side. Couldn't tell who got a hand on it. Might have been Ford. 4th down. As Keller will have to punt it away for the 3rd time. Alec Brenton unloads. Nice end over end punt, fielded and dropped by Brown. Picks it up at the 26, coming this way, looking for some blocking. Crosses a 35, crosses a 40 to the 45, and Brown tattooed at the 47.
Well, there's a roughing the punter, though. It's going to be against Martin. As now there's flags and hats all over the place.
Well, Brenton roughed up. As we see the flag back at the 20-yard line. Tonight's referee is Tim Early. The umpire is Cecil Edmiston. Mike Grissom, the linesman. Jason Glover, the line judge. And Pat Bird is the back judge. That's from the Fort Worth chapter. That might be Cecil.
Looks like Spencer Trussell may have roughed the punter. They have been getting close all night long, and Trussell may have gotten a little too close.
Well, that'll give the Indians a first down. There's Coach Bob Wager in year number 12. Wanting the final explanation. That carries it out to the 45-yard line. They needed 7 yards on 4th down, and with the penalty, they start at the 45. Keller trailing 20-0. Came in averaging 31 points. Martin came unyielding 19. Keller again with a 5-5 overall record, 3-3 in District 3 6A. They finished 4th place. So new life for Sloan Henry and company. From the 45, Henry on the toss right. That's Nochobo, and that's running room for about 3 yards.
Yeah, this just a short pitch, but deep in the backfield. Not much chance to turn that one upfield. Nicely read and pursued by the Warrior defense.
Yeah, Dylan Ford and Emmanuel Sadala. Sadala 6 foot 269. Really flattened him. Second down and 7. From their own 48. Handoff straight ahead into Martin territory. They'll need about 3 more yards. That's Enoch Nochobo again, sophomore.
Time nicely done offensively by that line by Keller to provide a little running room.
Spencer Trussell comes on. Martin makes a change defensively. 3rd and 3 with 6:23 to go in the first half. Yeah, the non-district battles, the district wars, and now the third season, the playoffs. On 3rd down, and Martin is held. Not much at all for the Chobo.
Well, Trussell's the starter. He was out for a play and then came right back in and made his mark with the tackle, trying to redeem himself after the penalty for roughing the punter.
It's 4th down and now needing a long 2. On 4th and 2, trailing 20-0, the Indians will go for it. Henry from the gun. Hard count. Sprints out to the right. Throws, intercepted at the 43. Looking for blocking. Johnson, or rather 45, Wheeler. And Wheeler carries it all. Well, it's Adu. I couldn't tell if it's 45 or 15. Basil. Abu Ahmad.
Sprints right, tries to throw back across his body and just really right into the hands of Abu Ahmad. And the second pick six tonight. Martin clearly could have had another. And when you're forced into a situation at midfield to go for it because you're down by 20 and you throw a pick six, it just makes that climb back even harder, maybe impossible.
Abu Ahmad goes 59 yards. It is 26-0 in a blowout. Chilton on the 2-point conversion. Nobody laid a hand on him. Keelan Chilton, a senior. And Martin really flexing its muscles on top, 28-0. This was easy. Brown, number 19, with a good block on the outside. And it's getting out of hand, 28-0. For Abu Ahmad, it is his 5th interception of the year. And here's a Martin kickoff. It is fielded and really tattooed at the 30-yard line. Is a return man. That's Brown downfield. Helmet on helmet. Kahari Watson leveled at the 30.
Well, I keep going back to that second possession that Keller had where they looked like they were going to tie the score up at 7. They were moving the football nicely. And the interception return for a touchdown was basically a 14-point swing. And they have never really recovered since.
Devon Collins back in at running back. This is he, number 20. Collins up the middle, rips off about 15. Collins crosses midfield. Collins all the way down to the Martin 42. 28 yards on the run.
And defensively for Martin, it's just can you keep that edge? And boy, we have seen signs of Keller being able to run the football nicely. That's obviously their biggest gain of the night on the ground, but
28 steps for Devon Collins. 1st and 10 at the Martin 42. Henry trying to draw Martin off sides. Drops back, scrambles, and just throws it away. Really hounded by 3 black shirts.
Well, at this stage, Martin is just how much heat do you want to put on the quarterback, Sloan Henry? I mean, Coach Wager said that they were going to try to keep pressure on him as much as they could tonight, and they have been able to do that for the most part. And now with a 28-0 lead, it seems like that you could just really pin your ears back and tee off play after play.
Really chased by Ty Proctor and Kelvin Spencer on that last play. 2nd and a dime as Keller scrimmages from the Martin 42. Handoff and a loss of yardage. Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Number 59, Spencer Trussell.
Yeah, and he's just really a great athlete. He has two brothers that played here that have gone on to play Division I football, and he will be the third to join that pack. And just great kids, great family, and just really great football players too.
Loss of 5, 3rd and 15. Martin showing a 3-man front. Henry sheds one, running for his life, and is bombed at the 47. Really walloped by the Martin D-line. Sadala there, number 75, and here's another look at it.
Well, initially had protection. He moves up, tries to buy some time, has no time to really look downfield because he had. The thing a quarterback needs to do is to continue to look downfield while you're getting out of pressure. He lost sight of his receivers. Really no chance to recover that eyesight.
Sophomore also there, Julian Johnson, number 42. 4th and about 20. Here's the punt. It's a skyscraper, but hold everything. A flag back at the line of scrimmage. Had some motion. That may pin Keller back a little deeper.
Now, and that was close to being blocked as well, but indication was illegal procedure by the referee. There you see just narrowly missing the block. It wouldn't have mattered. We'd have to do it again.
So Sorrell Brown scoots up 5 more yards, standing at his 15. Fourth and needing 25. 2:50 left in the half. Here they come again. A floater. Brown gathers it in at the 16. Brown outside to the 21. Hit downfield by Tyler Atkinson, number 12.
But one thing we know about Martin is they will not take their foot off of the accelerator. Still another half to play, and you can bet that Bob Wager and his Martin Warrior team is going to try to tack on as much as they can right now. And one of their goals was to perhaps even get this game to a situation where they could rest some of their players, and we'll see how that pans out. Still a little bit of ways to go on this one.
Juma Odaviano back in, number 8.
He would be one of those that you might want to see take a little bit of a break in the second half.
Running the show now, Trey Henderson, the running back from the 21. The fake to Henderson. Odaviano, deep ball over the middle, caught, and this will be 6. 79 yards. Martin has scored every which way tonight.
Well, and it's not unusual that the man they went to is the guy that is one of the better wide receivers in this game. Just a little play fake, and Sorrell Brown was left all alone in the middle of the field, and he has nothing but green in front of him. He just Cadillacs to the end zone.
His 7th touchdown reception. It is 34-0. And the conventional PAT. And the extra point is good. That was Angton, number 50, on the PAT.
Brown's 7th touchdown of the year, well over 700 yards now receiving on the season. Well, perfect size for a receiver too, 6'3", about 190 plus pounds, prototypical size. Clearly can take his talent to the next level.
So Martin leading by 35. Their average margin of victory this year is 30 points. They have scored 40 or more 7 times this year. And this one is out of hand here in the first half, no contest.
Well, the big plays have been the hallmark tonight. 2 interception returns, long ones for touchdown. Just saw a 71-yard touchdown pass to Brown. Fumble recovery at the 2-yard line, so they had a short field to work with. So it has been going Martin's way all night long.
One of the 2 men back deep. Enoch Chobo, number 29. And number 7, Matt DeWitt. And I sense another short kickoff by Esquivel.
Well, into the wind, it works nicely for him.
Caught at the 27-yard line. That is Watson. Kahari Watson takes it across the 35. Possession number 7 for the Indians.
And you say this a lot that, you know, you're playing for pride now, and for the seniors, you know, their coach Carl Strelo said that they had a very loose, exciting week. The kids were excited about being here, and they felt like this is the start of a new season. They weren't just happy to be here, but for the seniors especially, playing in their final game, you got to lay it all out there for the final half and some change.
They've got that Florida State helmet look with that gold spear, white jerseys. Henry running and lost it. Picked up by Martin. Number 20, Keelan Chilton. And another different way to score a touchdown. Make it Proctor, beg your pardon, number 30, not number 20.
Well, another one of those sophomores getting playing time, and you're right, we have seen just about it all tonight.
Ty Proctor, linebacker. As it goes 41 zip. Martin trying to bring on Christian Anderson. They're a man short. Well, they replace one on the offensive line. Anderson, number 77, now in there. And does it really matter? The extra point attempt at this point, it is good. Doesn't matter who kicks it. 42-0. Here's another look at it, Jim, as we'll see Proctor pick it up.
Yeah, and the game plan was to put pressure on him, and there was the pressure right there. Knocked loose by Chris Kraft, and then picked up by number 30, the sophomore, Ty Proctor. And other than a 2-point conversion, that's his first touchdown of the year.
That came from 36 yards out. So Proctor, Brown, Abu Ahmad, Willis has scored twice, and the interception by Jace Godley. Is there any other way to score? Haven't seen a safety or a field goal, but they won't attempt that tonight. 42-0. So Martin has now scored 40 or more points 8 times this year. And you can hear a pin drop on the other side. It's been taken out of their game tonight.
Yeah, they've really never gotten into an offensive groove with the exception of one drive. And then other than that, they've been playing with behind the chains and they're down in distance. It's just been a frustrating night. They've run the ball effectively a little bit, but just not enough consistency.
There's Kahari Watson, and he goes out of bounds at the 23. Another short, compressed, directional kickoff. And Keller shoot themselves in the foot again. They start from the 23. They just can't mount any kind of a drive. I bet they don't have 3 first downs.
Well, and those all came on the second drive of the game. And then, you know, we keep talking about that. And clearly Martin's a better football team. And I think inevitably they would have scored a lot of points. But you never know, because 2 interception returns for a touchdown, a fumble return. They fumble the football at their own 2-yard line. I mean, it's just been a cascade of one mistake after another by this Keller team tonight.
Keller gave up 48 in the season opener. Over the right side and a 4-yard pickup, number 29, Enoch Nachobo.
Number 29.
2nd and 6 upcoming inside of 2 minutes. And if things weren't bad enough, Jim, Martin will receive the second half kickoff.
Yeah, and we saw a Martin game earlier where they built a huge first half lead, and that allowed basically the reserves to play for much of the second half. There's a hold in the middle of that scrum as well.
Penalty marker dropped.
I guess
referee Tim Early.
The first penalties, I think, on Keller tonight. Well, it's actually not going to be against Keller. It's a face mask, so.
Keller all time of the playoffs with a record of 12-19. Martin 15-15. Third meeting, and the series is even at 1. They first played in 08. That was Coach Wager's 3rd year.
This is a school that's been playing football for a very long time as well.
Penalty carries it out to the 46. Minute 14, clock running, 1st and 10 Indians. Henry, here comes a rush. Deep ball right side. It is batted down in double coverage. And that was Chilton that knocked it down.
Well, had a shot, but in double coverage, not likely to happen. He made a nice effort to try to climb the ladder to get that.
That was Oliver Taylor. Taylor's caught 7 touchdown passes this year. Came in with 49 catches for close to 700 yards.
Yeah, leading receiver.
First time we've called his number. Running play, and just buried over the right side for a gain of 2. Sadala among 2 Warriors on the takedown. And on 3rd down, a timeout taken with under a minute to go. Each team now with 1 timeout, but really no factor for either team, leading 42-0. There's a Keller marching band and drill team, flag corps. Sundancers on the west side of Maverick Stadium. A 9-1 team, 6-1 in district. Martin with another playoff year for coach Bob Wager.
Telling some stories about how he got here, and I said, Coach, I bet these 12 years have gone by in a flash, and he said they certainly have, but this was his dream, was to coach high school football in Texas.
Reminiscing on his days at Toller. Flea flicker. Here's the pass. It is intercepted at the 19-yard line. Number 20, Chilton, breaks a tackle. Chilton crosses midfield and is ushered out of bounds. It was Damon Smith that threw the pass. You'll see number 2. He'll let it fly. And then Chilton makes the adjustment, picks it off at the 19-yard line.
That was one of those passes that did sail, because it had that pass been thrown a little bit shorter. From up here when it was released, it looked like that was going to be a nice completion. But it just kept sailing on him and right into the hands of Chilton.
34 yards on the interception return.
I think Chilton ran out of gas because it looked like he had a convoy and a lot of running room. Thought we were going to have another pick six.
Braden Willis. He'll sprint right. He'll cut it back against the green. Running room. Willis sidesteps 1, 35, 30, and a late flag. That's a run of about 16 yards. And at the end of the play, the flag dropped. That play took 10 seconds.
Well, John, we did the Martin Bowie game earlier this year, and Martin had a 43-0 lead before half and was trying to get one more. And Martin, as I said, they don't take their foot off the accelerator, but for the penalty here, they would have been in a much better position to go for that 7th touchdown tonight.
They scored 28 points here in the second quarter. Juma Ottaviano has thrown for 787 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. Has run for over 600 yards. Has 17 rushing touchdowns. Loading up, going deep, over the middle, and broken up. Tip, intercepted at the 12, off of the deflection. 30, arm tackle down at the 31. And a late hit out of bounds. And a flag.
Plenty of time to throw, a little underthrown, deflected into the air. And
Justin White, number 18. And a late flag here, Jim, when he is out of bounds. Gets up, the play's over right there, and then here's a late shove, and that'll cost Martin 15. Casey Mareka there for Martin.
Yeah, I'm not sure Mareka knew that he had stopped his progress. His back was turned, and when he saw him with the ball, he just kind of gave him a little bit of a nudge, nothing too outlandish, but he's going to get rung up for 15. And kind of like that Bowie game, even with 42 and 43 points on the board, trying to go to the end zone one more time before half.
How many interceptions have we had? 4 tonight? 1, 2, 3, 4 on both sides.
Yeah, 3 for Martin and that in there, but
8 seconds left in the half. Keller scrimmages from their own 48-yard line. The Indians and the Warriors in an uprising tonight at Maverick Stadium in this bi-district contest. So we'll see what Sloan Henry and the Keller offense wants to do here. They're going to go to the ground and not going to put it up towards a Martin end zone, and that's how the first half will end, on a running play that gains 3 yards. It's halftime at UTA's Maverick Stadium in this bi-district matchup. It is all Martin shutting out Keller 42-0. And welcome back to UTA's Maverick Stadium. It is all Martin leading Keller 42-0 in this bi-district matchup. And here's what they're playing for. Here is the championship trophy in the bi-district round. And here is the runner-up trophy that will be given to the winning coach after tonight. Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. Martin picks off this Sloan Henry pass, and Jace Godley returns it 80 yards untouched. Martin led at 14-0 with 2:34 to go in the opening quarter. It went 20-0. Henry over the middle, and then Abu Ahmad takes it 59 yards, as that made it 28-0. Martin got a 4-yard touchdown run by Braden Willis. And then Sorrell Brown on the receiving end, 79 yards, 35-0 Martin. And they weren't done yet. Henry drops back. He'll roll out to the right, loses a handle, Ty Proctor scoops it up at the 36, and Proctor tight ropes it all the way down the far sideline as Martin scored the last touchdown of the first half. That made it 42-0. Martin with 4 first downs, 53 yards of rushing, 113 of passing, 166 total. They were penalized 6 times for 70 yards. Sorrell Brown caught 2 passes for 113 yards and 1 touchdown. Keller had 6 first downs in the first half, 64 yards of rushing, 33 up top, 97 total. 5 of 14 in the passing department, 3 interceptions. They punted 3 times, they fumbled twice, and were flagged once for 5 yards. And Jim, we were talking, if you looked at the stats, you would think that Keller might be close to Martin in the scoring column.
Yeah, maybe even leading this game, John, because statistically it's pretty even, but it doesn't take into account you've had 2 interception returns for touchdown, a fumble return for a touchdown, a fumble recovery at the 2-yard line.
And here come the Martin Warriors up top, 42-0. More than 700 programs, 704 to be exact, ranging from Class 6A to 1A, beginning the 6-week journey in an attempt to get to AT&T Stadium for the state championships that conclude just before Christmas. Lamar won their playoff game 49-12 earlier this past week over Haltom. Arlington plays Keller Fossil Ridge, and with Martin in command here, it could be a clean sweep for the AISD in the opening round. Final AP top 10 in Class 6A had Allen ranked number 1, Garland Saxe number 4, Duncanville number 6, and DeSoto number 10, the 4 area teams in the top 10. By the way, if the name Godley sounds familiar, Jace Godley on that 80-yard interception return from Martin, he's the son of former Sam Houston Texan Jeff Godley. And Jim Godley, back in the 80s for Sam, set all kinds of rushing records.
Yeah, he certainly has his daddy's talent. There's no doubt about that. And well, the Godley name continues here at Martin, as his dad was an outstanding football player at Sam Houston.
I should say early 90s. Don't want to shortchange him age-wise. Martin over 150 yards in interception return yardage. 2 of those went for scores. 1 for 59, the other for 80. So Martin will receive the second half kickoff as Keller has to turn right around and kick it off, down 42-0. Logan Swingle, and this is Keller's first kickoff. First time they have kicked off tonight. And the second half is underway. It is deep, and this will come out to the 25. That one hammered through the end zone. 1st and 10 Martin at the 25. And we'll see how deep Coach Wager goes with the first teamers. That one retrieved and about the lane 5 by Chilton. Avery Taylor is in the backfield, number 16. Antoine Parker, number 6. Your quarterback is Braden Willis. Inside handoff. This is Parker. Parker crosses the 25. Parker upended at the 30 and a first down. 11 yards on the game.
Well, with this big lead, it does allow Martin the luxury of working on some other things and perhaps not even showing some things that they may use next week when they play perhaps Odessa Permian.
And that game would be at UTA's Maverick Stadium. 1st and 10. Out to the 41. And a gain of 5. That's Parker. Now Willis heads out as a receiver. Ottaviano back in a quarterback. He was cut down by number 24, Miles Britton. Senior.
Ideally, you have a long series with your starters in there and either take a lot of time, maybe put some more points on the board, and then they sit down for the rest of the game.
2nd down, 4 at the 42. To midfield. Montrell Smith breaks into the secondary, and Smith dragged down at the Keller 36. Running behind number 76, Casey Marica. At the Indian 36, 1st and 10 Warriors. Scored 14 in the first quarter, added 28 more in the second. To the outside and thrown down at the 30. Trey Henderson. Henderson tackled by Sean Payne. Leading tackler for Keller, came in with 88 stops.
Yeah, keep it on the ground, keep it inbounds.
Nolan Harris, offensive guard. Garrick. Marking scrimmages from the 30. They need about 4 for a first down. Henderson now goes to the left of Ottaviano. He's cut down at the 35. Loss of 5.
Well, Caden Steen did not go for the head fake. He just stayed right 0 in. And a nice job of taking Willis to the turf.
3rd and about 9 needed. Martin coming off the 50-34 win right here over Lamar last week. Ottaviano, this one knocked down. Intended, I believe, for Jonathan Carter, number 88. Right there for Keller, number 48 with a knockdown, Jacob Nichter, senior defensive lineman. So it'll be 4th and 9. Scoreboard says 2nd and 4. No. Line of scrimmage at the 35. Keller almost jumped off. Ottaviano on the run, throws out of bounds. He was on the sideline as soon as he let it go. So it'll go over on downs, and Keller will have it for the first time. Well, there's a flag dropped back at the 45. He'll wave that off, guilty of a hold. So Keller takes over. Ball squarely on the 35.
Well, ideally, they have the wind at their back. They've got almost 9 minutes here. They try to get first things first, get on the scoreboard and just see what happens and try to do much what Martin did, just strike in so many different ways in that first half.
Emeluson, Daly, and Cantrell, the offensive lineman, in place. Running play over the right side, Devon Collins. And Collins is buried at the 38. Gain of close to 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 for Sloan Henry. He'll be back next year. Came in with 1,437 yards of passing, a 62% completion rate. Jackson Cope has played some this year. He's the backup quarterback. Now Collins shifts over to the right on 2nd and 6. Henry looking, fires, and intended for one of the inside receivers who just kind of knocked it down, Michael Anderson. I don't believe he was interfered with. It
No, it looked
clearly
like,
incomplete.
Yeah, it looked like a nice play defensively, and
I don't see a flag. Doing the 40.
Yeah.
No penalty, wave it off, disregard the flag. Nice defensive play by Martin.
Flag of the play was waved off. Penalty assessed. 6.
So it remains
Down at 6.
6 yards needed. It'll be 3rd down. Just shy of the 39-yard line. Anderson looking for some running room, and Anderson tossed out of bounds at the 40 by Jace Godley. And it'll set up 4th down, needing 5. Godley there to wrap him up, had support from Willie Roberts, the junior. As Keller, the drive starting at the 35, it ends at the 40.
Yeah, not what they needed, a 3 and out, but
Yep. End over end, it comes down at the 25, rolls out of bounds. And we'll see where they mark off the angle. They say the 22, that's where Martin starts. First playoff game ever for the Martin Warriors back in 1994. They beat Pascal that game. Lost in round 2 to the Fighting Farmers of Louisville. Student body, nice turnout tonight on the west side, the Martin home crowd. And really not a bad turnout for Keller. Keller brought a lot of people. On the east side, a lot of people in shorts on this warm evening in November. Running play, 5, 10, 15, over 20, and did he go out of bounds? He did. Number 13, Montrell Smith.
just so many weapons on this Martin offense, and Willis is one of those, and Smith is the other, and they just are just a nice combination.
That's a counter play, kind of a deep counter play, 22 yards on the run. Goes out of bounds right there at the 44. Up the middle to the 47. That's Parker, Antoine Parker. And then on the tackle, Alec Brenton. So you have Parker and Smith in the backfield. Juma Ottaviano is the signal caller. 2nd and a yard at the Keller 47. Second possession for Martin here in the half. Parker breaks a tackle, 35, 30, Parker, 20, and Parker escorted out of bounds inside the 20, and a late flag dropped back at the 30. If it's a hold, it came after Parker had broken to the outside, almost unimpeded to the end zone.
Yeah, and Ottaviano was the guy that pitched the ball to the ball carrier, and then he was downfield and actually threw one of the blocks 20 yards downfield. Keep your eye peeled on number 8. Look at him. He's racing downfield, throws a block right there. That is a post first down foul.
Gavin Meyer opened up a huge hole for Parker. So the line of scrimmage now the 44. First and 10. The fake to Smith. Sorrell Brown, 35, 30. Brown caught 2 passes for 113 yards and a touchdown in the first half, averaging 56 yards a catch. Comes up a little gimpy after that last play.
Nice little pick out there by Jonathan Carter, number 88. You see him there tie up the defensive back, Brett Garcia.
Martin going to bring in Trey Applin, number 21. On 1st and 10 at the Keller 29-yard line. Also in number 12, Davion Jones. Parker spins away from one, breaks another tackle, sheds another one. And Parker inside the 15.
Nice little counter play, misdirection in the backfield, and that fooled the Keller defense. Take another look, and then nice little seal block there. That offensive line has really done a good job all night long.
Yeah, they have. Now they bring in Ty Williams, number 71, a sophomore, as Coach Wigger begins to clear the bench. That's Derek White, the quarterback. Derek White, a sophomore. And they continue to stay to the ground, and why not inside the 5. Trey Henderson. It's 1st and goal.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter who's back there and who's getting the football and who's blocking. It just all going Martin's way.
Last week, Braden Willis accounted for 5 touchdowns. He has scored twice tonight. Quarterback Derek White. Our 3rd quarterback tonight, 1st and 10, Martin. Jaden Miles is the running back. This is Miles, and Miles crosses a goal line, and Martin now on top 48-0. Jaden Miles, his 4th rushing touchdown, a sophomore.
Yeah, literally untouched again. We have seen that twice before where short yardage situation like this, the offensive line, just the whole, again, is 8 foot wide and no one near.
48-0. And the extra point is good. Booted through by Vernangton. 4:05 left in quarter number 3. Martin can name their score tonight. Lathering up Keller now 49-0. Martin on the quick kickoff as soon as the signal was given. Keller fumbles. It is loose at the 43 in a pileup. And Martin has recovered. Last man up, number 55, Chris Kraft, a sophomore. Martin on this quick kickoff as soon as the whistle blew, and well, it looked like what it was a fair catch indicated, but then unable to hold on to it. Justin White, and Martin recovers.
Another one of those many sophomores on this Martin team, and they're not just here because of the postseason roster. They've been on the team all year long, contributing.
And again, a whole host of new numbers. Running play over the left side, upended at the 42-yard line after a gain of 2. That's Avery Taylor. Taylor, a junior. Taylor and Miles, the running backs. So Braden Willis and Ottaviano's night apparently over. Trey Henderson in there as well. Derek White, the quarterback. 2nd down, 8 from the 42. He will keep it. White to the 38. Pull down hard. In the area, Justin White and Sean Payne. Third and close to 4.
Wyatt, another sophomore.
Third down.
Inside of 3 minutes, there's the starting quarterback, some of the first teamers. And Martin will have another week of practice over the Thanksgiving holidays.
Well, this is a team that averages 45 points a game, so the starters have had the luxury this year of resting some here in the second half.
Yes, they have. Running play, still on his feet, rolling to the 30-yard line is Miles.
Well, that's just great balance. Miles was going to initially be stopped short of first down yardage, but he just kept his feet going and his hand on the ground and just churning forward.
He looked like a worm in hot sand. Just trying to get loose, trying to get free. They spot it at the 32. Mark's objective is to take as much time off of the clock, keep it moving on the ground. If you get another score, that's nice. The game is out of reach. Derek White from the gun. This is Henderson. Trey Henderson shoved out of bounds by Alec Britton.
That was Trey Henderson. Daylight left side before
Gain of about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9. Martin getting a Jaden Miles 4-yard run here in the 3rd.
Boy, and the referee just standing there may have heard something from a Keller player, and he just threw his flag up in the air.
Second and 10.
Trying to see who came off. Caden Steen? Yeah, that's Steen, number 27. They escort him to the sidelines. Unsportsmanlike flag assessed against Keller if things weren't going bad enough.
Well, whatever he said, it was not to the liking of Tim Early.
No, it was not. Places it down at the 17-yard line. And this game can't end quick enough for Keller. 1st and 10 Warriors from the 17. And now a timeout taken. And we'll step aside with Martin in command, 49-0. And a few of the fans beginning to leave UTA's Maverick Stadium into the night with 1:41 to go here in the 3rd. Martin facing a 1st and 10 from the 17, and I believe Coach Carl Strelo, Jim, wanted an explanation at last. In fact, he's still in discussion with the referee on the sidelines. They want to bring Steen back in, but can they? He'll have to stay out. Wanted to bring him back in the lineup. There he is. And there's the head coach, Carl Strelo. Florida State grad, 6th year at Keller. They'll end the year at 5-6. And now Coach Bob Wager wants an explanation, 50 yards on the other side. Can he or can he not come back in, and what was the last penalty?
Yeah, and at this point, it really doesn't matter if he can or can't. And
now, a couple of weeks ago, Lamar's defensive lineman Bobby Brown was assessed an unsportsmanlike penalty and was able to come back in.
yeah, I certainly don't think he was ejected from the game.
I didn't see a thumbs out. Martin in with a play. Josh Parker relays the play, number 17. A keeper to the 10, inside the 5 and down to the 2.
The ball carrier. Derek White.
Quarterback Derek White.
That's going to be a 13-yard pickup for your first down.
Met by number 16, Alec Brenton.
Go now. Ball up 2 yards.
It's 1st and goal Warriors with under a minute to go here in the 3rd.
88-60.
Yeah, a lot of interchangeable parts.
Grayson Williams and Alec
Yeah, some new numbers coming on as well. Number 22, Nick Height, senior running back. See if he gets a handoff here. From the 2, he's a wing back to the left, is Height. White turns, here's a handoff, and fighting for the double strike and finding the end zone is Jaden Miles. Miles scores his second touchdown, and it is now a double nickel to nothing. 2 yards for Miles.
Initially hit behind the line of scrimmage by Corey Healy, but that was not going to stop the forward progress and the touchdown by Jaden Miles. Yet another sophomore for this Martin team.
Okay, so there is point number 55. Fifth time that Martin has scored 50 or more. Extra point is good. Juan Esquivel has it teed up at the north 40-yard line. Not much you can say after watching this one for 3 quarters. It is high, it is short, fair catch called for. He can't advance it. There's a flag. Justin White indicating the fair catch and then took off after he secured it.
Yeah, he was wondering why there was so much green turf in front of him. It was because he'd called a fair catch. Had he not done that, he would have been tattooed. But, you know, there's only been one series tonight that Keller has sustained anything, and it was an important series, and I keep reflecting back to it, and clearly I don't think it affected the outcome, but they have just really been flat offensively for much of the night. They have contributed, their offensive woes have contributed to 4 of the Martin Warrior touchdowns tonight.
Penalty is a delay of game. It's a 5-yard penalty. Michael Anderson in motion. Here's a handoff up the middle, and a gain of a couple of yards for Devon Collins. Second down and close to 9. Going to mark him at the 36, and that's the end of the third. 3 down, 1 to go here at UTA's Maverick Stadium. Martin on top in this bi-district matchup, 56-0. As we begin the fourth quarter, Keller faces a 2nd and 9 at their own 36. Running play, and Nelson is leveled. Wrapped up like a Christmas ham. Watch this, you'll see Ware, number 44, face mask to face, well, that's not Ware, that's, who was that, Jim, number 80, Ryan Wallace. There's so many different players in there, it's hard to pick them up now for Martin. Airing it out and at the feet of Nelson, number 3. Guarded in the secondary by yet another new number, Christian Traylor, number 35.
Well, it's good that Martin has allowed some of their players to play.
Yeah, it is.
Especially deep in the playoffs as you go. You just never know when that next man has got to step up and fill in. So getting some experience is obviously very, very important.
And it is for the underclassmen because you have, it's like an extra week in the spring. You'll have another week of practice for everybody. This one rolls inside the 45 and is down at the 43.
Well, the key is that they play the day after Thanksgiving, and so you've got to be able to, boy, how do you tap the brakes on that Thursday meal? Do you have to wait till after? I mean, the way these guys eat, good grief. I mean, do you wait till after Friday, or do you just, I don't know. That's a tough
Make it
choice.
2 short ones. You can make it 2 short meals. Or
of course, the way these guys eat is they'll burn it off in like 30 minutes, so it won't matter.
Gregorio Matheson in the game now. Also, Stephen Mohan.
That's number 11, Stephen Mohan.
Mohan, our fourth different quarterback.
He's at the wideout.
It'll be a keeper, Derek White. To the outside, and White, there's all kinds of movement as he goes out of bounds hard. A couple of players upended near the Keller bench. He crosses midfield and gains about 6.
Well, just again, great blocking up front, speed to the outside. Unfortunately, even though he was pushed out of bounds, unless it's a blatant timeout on an incompleted pass or on most running plays, they continue to wind the clock.
As soon as Mohan came in, he comes out. Josh Parker now in, number 17. Second down and a long 4. Coming left, 45, first down yardage 40, 35 to the 30. They're continuing to run hard. Jaden Miles. He scored twice here in the second half.
Well, just lots of speed. There's good penetration defensively, but once he gets to that second level, because of that penetration, not a whole lot of support back there.
Another first down for Martin. They only had 4 in the first half. Keller had 6. Stephen Mohan back in, number 11. He heads out as a receiver to the right. White turns. Here is Miles. And Miles cut down behind the line.
Yeah, that's a really nice defensive play by Sean Payne, second leading tackler on this team, and you can see why. Just good angle, good technique.
Loss of a couple of yards, second and a dozen. Fourth possession here in the half for Martin. At the 32. Over the right side, still on his feet, and he never touched to the 20 and close to a first down.
I believe he ran over just one of his offensive linemen. Boy, he did. He just collided. Number 52 is Spike Widener. Boy, Spike didn't know what hit him, but
Gonna be a yard short. It'll be 3rd and 1. Third and a yard from the Keller 21. Hand off, trying to struggle and stay on his feet and slam down 3 yards behind the line is Miles.
Caden Steen, we talked about him earlier, got the penetration, strung out the play, and got help from behind.
Really flattened. Miller also there, Braden Miller, senior. 4th and 5. And we have a 41-yard field goal attempt upcoming. Now Morales hit one from 41 against Lamar, but it's going to be a yard further out, 42. From 42, this is Angton. And it is no good. Vern Angton missing a 42-yard field goal as the ball goes over. So Martin trying to get 3 more.
Well, that's just for the experience of that field goal and that team being out there and trying to execute, because as this playoff picture continues down the road, some of these games might in fact be decided by the right toe of one of these field goal kickers.
Yeah, Morales hammered one from 41 against Lamar, and that attempt missed from 42. 1st and 10 from the 25. Up the middle for 8. Number 20, Devon Collins.
Well, the one bright spot has been that Keller in spots tonight has run the football a little effectively. They had 64 yards on the ground in the first half. It doesn't sound like a lot, but again, as we talked about that earlier.
8 yards on the last carry. Here's a first down run and more, taking the entire Martin team with him to the 46.
Muscles his way across the 40 to the 50, just inside Martin territory.
Collins again.
And their success has been that play right there, just a straight handoff, straight zone blocking by the offensive line.
From the 46 of Martin. Under 6 minutes to play. Henry. And Henry dropped. Just dumps it off to avoid the loss. Really feeling the heat from the outside is Sloan, and just airs it out, caught by the head coach. I think Coach Wager made the reception. From the 46, it's 2nd and 10. And this clock is moving. This is a moving clock. Didn't stop it at all. Running play to the 41. So Martin going to play on. They'll take a 10-1 record into the next round. Came in averaging 45. They hung 56 on the board tonight. Keller ends the year at 5-6. A continuous clock here. Midway from the fourth quarter to the end.
Well, Keller clearly wants to crack that egg, and conversely, Martin wants to keep him from getting in the end zone.
To the 37. Be a couple of yards short. Just a handoff. Another one to Collins. A lot of second teamers stay in for Martin, and that was kind of a good thing with a big score to get some of these second and third teamers some playoff action.
Yeah, absolutely.
Motion. They're going to not wave off that penalty. Deep ball right side. It's a 50-50 ball and broken up at the 13-yard line. Intended for Damian Smith. And number 23 there for Martin. So with 4:09 to play, Martin takes over. And we'll see Cade Albus, number 14. That was a third and probably the last possession of the night in the second half for Keller. Their all-time playoff record will now go to 12-20. Martin will be 16-15 now in playoff history. And they'll lead the series with Keller 2-1. Play clock was down to 3, but a timeout taken before that point. 1st and 10 Martin. They scrimmage from their own 38. And Cade Albus in there. Quarterback is Stephen Mohan. He turns a handoff. First down yardage and more. 30. Inside the 15 and stepping out of bounds. Number 12, Davion Jones.
Oh, what nice balance by Davion Jones in motion. He gets it deep in the backfield. Nice inside cut there. And then just goes north-south, a little head fake there, gets around the potential tackle of Watson, still on his feet.
Got a push or a block in the back on Martin. So it looks like a clean sweep for the AISD in the opening round of the playoffs. Arlington in their game with Keller, Fossil Ridge, Lamar beating Haltom, Martin winning tonight. The penalty yardage at the 25, first down, and a run of 8. Mohan, number 11, after the penalty. Now this is an old-fashioned scalping tonight, is it not?
Yeah, it's been all Martin, and it's just Keller coach Carl Strelo admitted that this was going to be a tough challenge tonight. Martin is the real deal. They rack up a lot of points. Their average is going to be well over 45 now on the season.
From the 16-yard line, 2nd and 1. Now 1st and 10, dragged down at the 11 is Mohan. Most points that Martin has scored this year was in the 70s against Pascal. 76-0 at Cravens. Martin has a player come off holding his wrist, Davian Jones. Well, the Keller band hadn't given up. They'll play their last game of the year. 1st and 10, Martin from the 12 to the 5 to the end zone, and getting in from 12 yards out, Stephen Mohan.
Over the left side, fights his way into the end zone. Flag on the play, however. Touchdown pending the call.
Now there's a flag dropped on the far side at about the 3-yard line. So hold everything as indication given by referee Tim Early. The touchdown stands. So that makes it 62-0. Miles with 2 touchdown runs. Mohan with one himself here in the second half. Let's see, most points ever in a Martin playoff game. This is the second most. They scored 76 against Midland 2 years ago.
Well, and they just took a knee instead of getting the conversion, tacking another point. So
62-0. Martin set to kick off on Esquivel. And this one carries beyond the goal line, and Keller coming out with it to the 15, to the 20, over the 30. Anderson. Michael Anderson, the senior, on the kickoff return.
yeah, I like that. He's 5 yards deep, and you say, well, take a knee. Nope. Try to make something happen. And he was very narrowly close to making that happen, but he gives his team great field position, and I like the fact that he didn't take his knee, that he tried to run it out and do something with it, and he did nicely on that return.
From the 39, Damian Smith, wide right, twin receivers to the short side. Handoff into the center of the line. Gain of about 5.
We thought Keller had the reputation of passing the football a lot, and they do. They never really got into that type of game plan, though. They really never just aired it out a gob. They were always playing from behind, and even early on, they didn't pass the football as much as I thought that they would.
That was Jet Ertle, a last ball carrier, Cade Hutchison, is the new quarterback, number 10, a senior. They'll only have about one more snap, and that'll be the season. 3 touchdown runs in the second half from Martin. They had a very comfortable 42-0 halftime lead. And just padded it a little more in the second half. Barring a penalty, here's the last play of the season for Keller. It is a run, and that is the last play.
Hands it off.
That was Jed Earl.
Ball carrier.
And Martin wins big,
Looks like we're going to call it.
62-0. And Jim, we kind of saw it all tonight. 2 interception returns, fumble recovery. Martin able to play just about everybody that suited out tonight.
Yeah, their defense came up big tonight. The offense did what they had to do, but really the defense and special teams was the difference in this game, putting 4 touchdowns of the total of 62 on the board tonight. And a very confident Martin team heads into next week, and their eyes may be right here at home at Maverick Stadium against Odessa Permian.
Annie, Ronnie, Vern, and Spence, our AISD-TV production crew tonight. There they are. Nice job as always. Martin wins this bi-district matchup rather easily over the Keller Indians by a final score of 62-0. They play on. Keller turns in their equipment on Monday. For Jim Staples, this is John Nelson saying good night high atop UTA's Maverick Stadium.